Hello people, I'm Gage, and today let's talk about the Switch 2. Specifically, about how many units this thing is going to sell within its first year. But before that, let's talk about its price. Now, what will the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 be? Drum roll, please. Never mind, I don't want to edit a drum roll in. It is going to be $400. It's going to be $400 or $450. They cannot go above $450. If they go above $450, suddenly, that's not competitive pricing. Remember, Sony is their competition, and they're selling the PS5 for $500. Nintendo's gonna want this console to be affordable. And honestly, Nintendo's always been affordable. Nintendo has always been cheaper than the rest of the competition, but they've always had better games, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, they've been cheaper than the rest of all the competition, which makes sense for the Switch 2 to be as well. This thing is going to be $400. I think it's going to be $400, and honestly, I kind of just hope it's going to be $400, because honestly, if you think about it, okay, so we have the Switch Lite, which is $250, then we got the Switch, which is $300, and then we got the Switch OLED, which is $350. Why not make the Switch 2 $400? I mean, it just makes sense. 50, 50, 50, 50 every single time. Then, when they make a Switch 2 Pro or Switch 2 OLED model, which you know they're going to do that like a year or two down the line, when they do a Switch 2 OLED model, I expect it to be $450. That's just kind of how Nintendo does pricing. And it makes a lot of sense, and I think they're going to do that. So yeah, the Switch 2 is going to be $400. Now, how many units will this thing sell within its first year? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at just how well the Switch did in its first year. In the first year of the Switch, it sold around maybe 15 million units. Maybe a little less than 15 million units, but we're gonna say around 15 million. This, Bloomberg report is saying that they might reach 20 million within its first year, and honestly, I think it'll be more than 20 million. I think within its first month, they might even double the amount of units they sold within the first month of the Switch 1. The Switch 1 sold nearly 3 million units within its first month. This is going to sell way more. It's gonna sell way more. Think about it. 8 years later, the Switch has sold 150 million units. Over 150 million units. It's on its way to be the greatest sold video game console ever made. So I expect this to do way better. It might double or triple the Switch's first month. It might do that. This might reach 6 million units within the first month. I think that is totally reasonable. Maybe 4 million, maybe 5 million, but it will exceed the amount of units that the Switch 1 sold within its first month. Now, apparently, and I don't know where I heard this from, but they've shipped 400,000 consoles to North America already. I believe it's just North America. It's either worldwide or North America, but they've shipped 400,000, at least 400,000 units of the Nintendo Switch 2 already. They're just ready to go. They're ready to be sold. That's really good. That means Nintendo seems to be trying to really meet demand with this. And that's a really good thing, because, God, I want it to be easy to get a Switch 2 on day one. I don't want to have to fight a bunch of scalpers at Walmart. I just want to grab a freaking console, come home, and play a new Mario game. That's what I want to do. And I'm pretty sure Nintendo is trying their best to make sure that happens, which is a really, really good thing. Honestly, I think the Switch 2 will release in June. That is the best time for them to release this console. They're going to release this thing in June. I guarantee it. June or July. One of those 2 months, but I guarantee it will be June. Because, okay, they're doing this presentation, this April 2nd presentation, on April 2nd. And I find that funny because it's the Nintendo Switch 2, and April 2nd is, well, there's a 2. It's April 2. Anyway, yeah, the Nintendo Switch 2 will come out in June. The Switch 2 will probably sell around like 4 to 5 million units within its first month, and it is definitely going to sell probably, I guarantee it'll sell over 20 million units within its first year. The Switch is super popular. The Switch 2 is going to be way more popular. This is going to be Nintendo's biggest console launch. This might be the biggest console launch. I think the Switch 2 is going to sell way better than any other Nintendo console. And I think the numbers for just the Switch 1 shows that I'm right with that. It's very, very easy to tell. And honestly, I don't know why people had to look to a Bloomberg article to figure that out. I mean, come on. It's just easy. It's easy to figure that out. Obviously, there's some patterns in Nintendo's strategies and how Nintendo does business. They're obviously going to sell this Switch 2 for $400 or $450. That's just how it's gonna work. Again, they can't go with $500 because $500 is not a competitive price for Nintendo, like, at all. So, they will not do that. They are not going to $500, because then they would have to price their consoles the same as their competition. And they don't want to do that. They want to price it cheaper so more people can actually frickin' afford to buy it, because most of the games that come onto PlayStation go to Nintendo anyway. Or they will with this, because games still come to PS4, and they're going to come to Nintendo Switch 2. It just makes sense. And you know, GTA 5, why isn't that on Switch 2? That's probably going to be on Switch 2. I think maybe even GTA 6 might have a version on Switch 2. Just saying. And we already know they're probably going to put Call of Duty on Switch 2. And with this mouse functionality with the Switch 2, shooters and, you know, FPS games in general, those are going to do super well on Switch. I have a feeling the mouse functionality with the Joy-Cons is going to be kind of revolutionary with those games on consoles. You no longer have to buy a mouse to just hook it up into the Switch dock and play with a mouse on it. No, and most games don't even offer mouse support, right? So just do the Switch 2's thing. Just do the Switch 2's mouse thing. That's awesome. That's amazing. And the mouse has so many cool things you could do with game design. Like Super Mario Maker would be amazing with a mouse. I think, you know, you can already use a mouse with Game Builder Garage. Yeah, it's just really cool. Imagine a Pikmin game with a mouse and tell me that wouldn't be good. Just imagine it. No, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes and imagine it. Imagine Pikmin using a mouse. It's incredible. It's like motion controls in Pikmin, but you don't have to do motion controls in Pikmin. So it is way better. It's just way better. Alright, you can open your eyes now. That's it. What do you think about the stuff I talked about today? Do you think the Nintendo Switch 2 will be $400 or $450, or are you strange and you think that the Switch 2 will be $500? I'm betting $1 against my mother. You better say it's 400 or 450. She says it's gonna be 500. It's not gonna be 500. I win. I win this argument. Okay? I win this argument. So yeah, to recap, Switch 2 will come out in June. The Nintendo Switch 2 will be $400 to $450. And, of course, it will sell more than the Nintendo Switch did in its first month, and probably its first year. So, those are the things that you should take away from this video. And, yeah, I just wanted to talk about it. I don't know. That's what this channel's for, is just talk about random crap. Okay, bye!